Okay, so let's go over some fundamental intonation rules in spoken English. So first of all, what is intonation? Intonation is the rising and falling of the pitch of your voice. So it's like the melody of English. And English is very melodic in the sense that it goes up and down quite a bit, much more than many other world languages. So it's something to be aware of. Um, so, for example, let's do a real simple example. Let's say I have a phone number that I want to share with you. In English, you're going to use intonation going up, and down. And this is easy for our ears to understand. You're telling me something, and you're done. Okay, so for example, I would say my phone number is 123-456-7890. So that is how we use rising and falling to tell you I'm talking, I'm done. By contrast, if I were to ask you your phone number and you said my phone number is 123-456-7890, you would likely hear a native English speaker saying, wait, what? I didn't hear that. Say that again. Because our ears are not trained to distinguish if there's just a monotone. So, and the basic idea is in English, thoughts are completed with falling intonation. And if you're still talking, you're either going to do a rising intonation, or sometimes it is okay to do a flat intonation with a falling at the end. So let's just go through some examples. So, okay, so let's go through this step by step. Let's call rule number one the intonation that falls when you're making a statement or a command. So if you have a short sentence, which is a statement or a command, it will have falling intonations. So for example, he is going. He is going, right? It goes down. That's a statement. Let's make that into a command. You are going. Same thing. He is going. You are going. Those both go down. Those are statements and commands. That's rule number one. Rule number two, again, let's deal with small sentences first. Rule number two is if you are asking a yes, no question. So if you are asking a question that the response is going to be either yes or no, the intonation is going to rise. So we would say, are you going? You hear that? Are you going? So, and then the answer is either yes or no. So that's why we call it a yes-no question. Are you going? Is he going? Okay. Now, the next rule is a little tricky just because this applies to questions, but these are questions that are prefaced with what we call a WH word. So a WH word is who, what, where, when, and then let's also throw in how. So these are question words. So if I use who, what, those words, I already know that you're asking me a question. So I would say, who is going? And you'll notice my intonation fell. I didn't say who was going because that's redundant. I don't need to do a question word plus rising intonation because, like I said, if the fact that I used who already tells me it's a question. I know it sounds complicated. So let me say the two types in comparison so you can hear. Who is going? It goes down. What is happening? And then the yes/no question. Is he going? Is he going? Who is going? Okay. I know it can be tricky, but don't worry. With practice, repetition, it'll feel more natural to you. Okay, let's do the next rule. This is what I was doing with the phone number. So this is when you have a list. So if you have a list, each item has rising, 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 and then the final one has falling. And so what that means to the, English ear, right, is that when you're rising, you're still talking, you're still going, and then when you fall, it's completed. So for example, I buy cabbage, carrots, cilantro, tomato, and potato. Right? So that helps the listener know that what's coming next, right? It's still going, it's still going, it's still going, finished. So that's why I said, especially for phone numbers, we follow that pattern. Okay, lastly, this one's a little bit more complicated. Now, let's say we're talking about longer sentences, complex sentences with multiple clauses. So a clause is not a full sentence, it's a subject and a verb. And so when you have lots of clauses in a sentence, in written English, sometimes they're followed by a comma, right? And so you want the speaker to know, I'm sorry, you want your listener to know you're still talking, you're not done. And in spoken English, you can't show them the commas, right, to show them you're still talking. So what you do in this instance is you're going to do flat intonation. So flat, 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 and then when you finish talking, falling. So let me give you an example. Okay, so the thing is, by the time I get home, it's going to be time to come back. Right? So the thing is, by the time I get home, it's going to be time to come back. Right? So that was a very wordy sentence, much longer than the previous examples. And the reason why, again, we do this is to make sure the speaker is following along. I'm not done talking until the intonation falls.